Chair Haran, you may begin.
Thank you. Good evening. I would like to call this meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. Welcome to the July 14th, 2025 City of Burlingame Planning Commission meeting. For all in attendance today, please note that this Planning Commission meeting is being held in person and using the Zoom webinar format. Please note that we are not accepting remote public comment during commission meetings. Agenda item number 2, roll call. The record should note that 6 members of the commission are present this evening. Agenda item number 3, request for AB 2249 remote participation. How should I address this?
Sure. There are no requests from the planning commissioners under AB 2449 for remote participation. However, Chair Haran is participating and chairing the meeting remotely. We have listed the address of his location on the agenda, and the meeting agenda is also posted on the outside of the door of where he is located.
Thank
You
you.
can proceed.
Agenda item number 4, review of agenda. Staff, are there any other changes to the agenda?
Staff has no changes to the agenda.
Do we have any recusals?
Yes, Chair Haran, I'll be recusing from item 6A, 1508 Vancouver, as well as 7C, 1548 Hoover, as I live within 500 feet of the.
Thank you.
And I will be recusing from 6A, 1508 Vancouver, 7A, 1556 Bernal, and 7C, 1548 Hoover Avenue, as I live within 500 feet of all 3 of those.
Thank you. Agenda item number 5, public comments, non-agenda. Members of the public may speak about any item not on the agenda. Members of the public wishing to suggest an item for a future Planning Commission agenda may do so during the public comment period. The Ralph Brown Act, the state local agency open meeting law, prohibits the Planning Commission from acting on any matter that is not on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Do we have any members of the public attending in person who wish to speak on any item that is not on our agenda? No. Did we receive any public comment emails?
No public comment emails were received for non-agenda public comments.
Thank you. So seeing none, we'll move on to the next item. Agenda item number 6, consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar are considered to be routine. They are acted on simultaneously unless separate discussion and/or action is requested by the applicant, a member of the public, or a commissioner prior to the time the commission votes on the motion to adopt. This evening, we have one item on the consent calendar, item 6A, 1508 Vancouver Avenue. Would any member of the public or Planning Commission like to pull this item for discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I'm not sure about pulling it, but I do have a question, a staff question.
Yes.
We would pull it in that case.
Okay. Then.
And the commissioners that are in the council chambers, you would have to actually leave the council chambers now.
Okay.
Chair Haran, we can treat this just as a regular action item now.
Okay. And let the record note that Commissioners Lowenthal and Schmid have recused.
Yes, that is correct.
So you want me to go? Yeah. Do you want me to go with my question?
Yeah, let me just summarize. Yeah, so this is an application for major design review for a new 2-story single unit dwelling and detached garage at 1508 Vancouver Avenue. And Chair Pfaff, you had a question for staff?
Yeah. At the meeting, the last time we saw this, I asked about inquiring about the adding an extra street tree out in front, and I know it was Amalia was here, and it's not notated, and we don't do minutes anymore, but I know I said it, and the remark was that the staff would go back and talk to, I've forgotten her name, but Ellen,
Ellen. Mhm.
and see if that would work. But I don't see any change and I don't see any comment. So I'd like to, I don't want to hold it up. I just still would like to know if another tree can go in front.
Sure, staff can follow up with the Parks Division on that. I don't have that information in front of me at the moment. We may have done so, and Parks may have determined that a second tree could not be installed. However, staff will double check with Parks on that. And if one can be installed, then that'll be caught through the building permit review process.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Pfaff. Any other questions for this item? Commissioners, any motions?
Before we go into motions, we should ask if there are anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this item.
Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak on this item?
There are none.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the item as per the conditions of the staff report.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Shores and a second from Commissioner Say. Any discussion on the motion? May we please have a roll call vote?
Sure. Sorry, and before we go, that's for the findings in the resolution, correct?
That's correct. Thank you.
Great. Commissioner Pfaff,
Yes, aye.
Commissioner Say,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shores,
Aye.
Chair Haran.
Aye. The motion passes 4-0 to 0.
And we'll also need to read the appeal rights as well.
An action by the Planning Commission is appealable to the City Council within 10 days of the Planning Commission's action. If the Planning Commission's action has not been appealed or called up for review by the City Council by 5 p.m. on the 10th day, the action becomes final. In order to be effective, appeals must be in writing and must be accompanied by an appeal fee of $924, which includes noticing costs. Agenda item number 7, action items.
Quick question. Sorry, did we already approve the consent calendar? Do we still have to go back to approve the meeting minutes and?
There were no meeting minutes on the consent calendar, as far as I can see.
Item A, 6A? No, 6A.
6A was Vancouver Avenue, which we just reviewed.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Right. The meeting minutes from the last planning meeting will be available at your next meeting.
Oh,
It's not on the agenda.
agenda, sorry. Okay. Thank you.
Are all the commissioners back in the chamber?
Yes, they are.
Thank you. Agenda item number 7, action items. Item 7A, 1556 Bernal Avenue. If you are the applicant and are attending the meeting via Zoom, please raise your hand so that we may be prepared for you to speak at the appropriate time. If possible, we ask that you also turn on your video at that time. Were any commissioners not able to visit the project site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communication regarding this project? Let the record note that all commissioners present have visited the project site. Can we hear the staff report, please?
Yes, thank you. This is an application for design review and hillside area construction permit at 1556 Bernal Avenue, zoned R1. Subject property is located at the southeast corner of Bernal Avenue and Devereaux Drive and currently contains a 2-story single-unit dwelling with an attached 2-car garage. The applicant is proposing an interior remodel with a first and second story addition. The total proposed floor area would be 3,705 square feet, or 4,062 square feet is the maximum allowed. There is a 58 square foot second floor balcony at the rear of the proposed addition. However, staff would note that this is not subject to special permit requirements because the property is located in the hillside overlay zone. The project includes a 378 square foot attached ADU on the first floor. However, ADUs are administrative only and not subject to Planning Commission review. Staff has determined that the ADU shown on the plans this evening is in compliance with our zoning code requirements. The applicant's requesting the following applications: major design review for first and second story addition, and a hillside area construction permit. This project was first before the Planning Commission on June 9th. At that time, the Planning Commission had several requests for changes to the project and voted to bring this back as an action item. The applicant has submitted revised plans, date stamped June 25th, and staff has summarized the changes made to the plans in the staff report for you. In addition, staff recommends approval and has suggested findings for design review and the hillside area construction permit in the draft resolution that's attached to the staff report, along with 13 recommended conditions of approval. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Through the chair. Would it be possible to pull up the renderings that we saw last time on the originally proposed plan A10?
Let's see, I think they're under the previous plans. Let's see if we could get those.
It'll take us a minute or two to pull this up. Catherine, which meeting were they here,
Are
Betty?
on
It's 10. It's,
sheet 19 of 30
okay.
of the previous plan set in the S drive.
What was the meeting date that they were on? That May 27th or
It was June 9th.
June 9th? Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. So if I could just ask, and it might be a question of the architect, or I don't know, I'm just want to make sure nothing got mixed up. So on the top left, you have the proposed south elevation rendering, which to me looks better, and it has to do with the roof. So on the new rendering, I'm just wondering if they got switched. The new rendering looks like there's perhaps the overhang has changed or the angle of the roof. So if you can switch back to the one we're looking at now, the roof looks, the slope appears to be somewhat different, almost like on that section, I'm just saying. Do you see that difference? So the one we're looking at now,
Yeah.
on the left, so is that the old one maybe, or is
Yeah.
that really the new one? Did they?
So the one you were saying is the old versions of our plan, and after the first reviewing, we did some like updates between the renderings and also the elevations, and to match all the drawings together.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay, then I'm just going to ask that. I want, so the rendering that you're showing now is what was on the plans,
Yes.
and the one that was previous didn't match the plans.
The
Commissioner Pfaff, the public hearing's not open yet, so
Oh,
maybe
Sorry about that.
that's okay. How would you like to handle this, staff? Should we wait?
Thank you, Chair Horn. We're going to ask questions of staff first, and then we'll
Yes.
move on to it. Thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner Pfaff, I think I can clarify the question regarding the rendering. There was a comment from the commission at the last hearing regarding the, I think it was the covered porch, porte-cochere, and the roof, kind of how it tied in. It didn't look like it was matching the elevation drawings. So I believe the applicant revised the rendering to be consistent with what was shown on the proposed elevations. So that's why there's a difference in those, is it was a correction, and it was noted by the commission at the time that there was an inconsistency with the way the porch was shown on the previous rendering.
Okay.
But once the public hearing's open, we can let the applicant confirm, but I believe that's where it was originating from.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions for staff? Great. I'm going to open the public hearing. Would the applicant please come forward, state your name and anything else you would like to add about your project? At this time, you can address any further comments on Commissioner Pfaff's question.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Thomas, and today I'm representing the owner. And so this is our second revision for the planning reviews. Yeah.
Any questions for the applicant?
Oh, I thought you were waiting for someone. It's just you.
Yeah, just me.
Oh, sorry about that.
Well, some of my coworkers online too. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know if it's just me. I think this does not look as good as the one that we've seen on the right. I'm talking about the right. I'm not even talking about the door that there could have definitely been comments about the
Mm-hmm.
board. I'm talking about the section which looks white, the second story, and then the way it looked before, which has more of a substantial roof, or the angle's different. I don't know. There's a big difference that I can see.
So maybe the question for the applicant is the slope of the roof in the second
slope of
floor
the roof.
addition the same as it was in the previous submission?
The slope of the roof is the same. It's 4 by 12, the slopes. And it
Okay.
also labeled it in the roof plans.
Okay, so and is the overhang also the same on that roof? The second story?
And also for the overhang, we did a change to, so besides the balcony and also the porch, all the other existing eave is going to be 10 inches. And for the porch, we keep it as the 2 feet eaves.
So what you're saying is you reduced
Yes,
the overhang,
reduced the-
and that's what I'm seeing. And is there a reason why you reduced the overhang?
Just complying with our overall design. So before, one of the common is we have a lot of different eave sizes. And after the reviewing, we decide to keep all the eaves with 10 inches, excepting the second floor balcony and also the porch. It's the only 2 different eave sizes we have right now.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Just a quick clarification.
Mm-hmm.
You decided to change the roof over the front portico to a composite shingle roof from the standing metal roof?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we have any members of the public attending in person who wish to speak on this item? Please note that speakers are limited to 3 minutes each.
There are no speakers from the public.
Thank you. I'm going to close the public hearing. Commissioners, comments?
Well, I'll go. I don't think it looks as good now. I mean, as I'm talking about now, and it's also not consistent. I'm looking at the proposed north elevation rendering. It also looks like it's larger from the one side or hanging over further. I think it's too bad. It looks, to me, it lost something in that. And I really did like your, I thought this was well done, but it's lost something with the reduction of the roof overhang, I think. But just my opinion. I think it's hard to even see that there's a roof on there when you're on the ground, if the perspective is correct. If I look at the first one, it has a roof, it's substantial, it sits down.
I think the inconsistency you might be seeing on the north elevation might be the overhang that's going to be on top of the balcony, which does at first glance look like it projects way.
Oh, I see.
Right.
But still the other side doesn't look as,
For sure.
Yeah, right.
No, I see.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I think I also definitely did prefer the deeper eave overhang.
the deeper eave.
But it also does sound like this was in response to a comment to unify all of the roof forms. So I'm not really sure if that's if that makes sense to the
Yeah.
commissioners.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
otherwise, the other comments look like they've been addressed fine.
Mhm.
I agree. I think the comments, oh, sorry.
No, I'm done.
Nice. Commissioner, Chair Haran, can I speak?
Yes, please. Sorry, Commissioner Say.
Thank you. Sorry, trying to find where you are. Yeah, I think they addressed the comments well and addressed the items that we discussed. I agree too that that I think we were hoping that with the unification of the eve extensions that they would be the bigger.
Right.
Rather than to go skinnier. The house is fairly long. It's also two stories tall at one end. And I think it could benefit from the deeper eaves. So I think I'm in agreement with my fellow commissioners here that that's probably the preference for the deeper eaves.
I don't disagree. I think, yeah, I think the comment was about how there was inconsistencies with the eaves, but I don't think that the preference was to bring it shallow like it is. Because I agree, it does look, I'm not sure exactly what the word is, but I agree with the opinion. So the question is do we bring it back to consent with the understanding that maybe that would be changed, or do we want to bring it back to action again?
I think
Through
if we
the-
can be specific, we can actually approve it, right?
Yes, through the chair, another option you have is that you just add a condition of approval this evening that all leaves shall match and shall extend, 18 inches or 24 inches from the exterior walls. You may want to ask the applicant if there's no objection to that, and then you can just approve it tonight with that condition of approval added.
So why don't we do that?
Yeah, so let's open the public hearing again and get the applicant's view of the comments from the commissioners regarding a deeper eave.
So the question to you is, do you have any objections if the project were approved with the deeper eaves?
I have no problem with it because the reason why we're using 10 inches is the existing is 10 inches. So
Okay,
we just want to
That
keep
the what?
Existing.
I see. Okay.
Oh, but it looks,
But we would happy to have like deeper eve
you.
for sure. Yeah,
it'll look better.
if it's possible.
And perhaps the commission can look at the eave depth matching the roof eave depth over the entrance portico.
Mhm.
Unless the applicant knows exactly what that, or if staff knows exactly what that extension is. Is it an 18-inch roof eave or a 24-inch, do you know?
Before I think it's 18 inches. Yeah.
I just want, oh, can I ask a question?
Yes.
I can't scale the drawings on my computer, but the eaves over to the right of the garage by the balcony seem to be deeper than, did you just say 18 inches?
No, that part is we leave at 4 feet.
4 feet.
Yes, to cover the balcony.
Right, but the roof eave below the balcony on the first floor looks deeper than 18 inches. I just want to make sure we cover all these eaves in this discussion. If I'm looking at the south elevation, this was the old south elevation, the previously submitted plans.
Yeah, so for the new renovation, we accepting the balcony area and also the porch, all the other eaves, we change it to 10 inches, which is like same as the existing. Yeah. So your question is the eve below the balcony?
There's the eave over the first floor at the balcony. If we look at the south elevation, that eve extends just past the balcony. This is in your previously submitted plans. If we're talking about 18 inches or whatever dimension we're talking about for your eave extensions now,
Mhm.
I believe we want it uniform all around the house. And I'm just questioning what it will be over by the balcony.
Oh, that part is 18 inches, yes.
That one doesn't look like it's 18. It looks like it's greater than 2 feet on the previously approved plans. On your south elevation.
That may have been part of the original comment about all the different eave depths.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Right, so it was showing at,
Excuse me, Commissioner Say, I scaled that on the previous plan, south elevation, and this is the eave directly below the new balcony is scaling at 2 feet 10 inches. And there was a comment from the commission regarding inconsistency in eave sizes. So that was something I had requested the applicant to do based upon what I thought the commission direction was. So if I misunderstood, I apologize.
yeah, so if it was previously then 2'10", that's what I was asking for. So what was that dimension? So it was 2'10", and now we're talking about 18 inches as a uniform eave extension all the way around the house. What I did like about the previously approved plans is how that eave extension kind of nestled, the balcony kind of nestled within the that eave projection, and now it's really going to cantilever past the eave.
Well, what is the, I don't build, so I don't know, what is it, does it get harder to build something with a, no.
No.
Then I think the larger, the wider, the better, the deeper, the better. I just think the house will sit, it'll look better, I think. So anyway.
If that sounds like
Whatever.
look better to everyone, we could just exempt that one side and have it match the depth of the balcony. Is that all right?
If that will work on their roof plan, let's see. And and then the front portico will also then be a 18, or we could settle at 24.
Yeah, 20, why don't we just say 24?
Right, so we would be exempting the front entry portico and then the next to the balcony.
And the one over the balcony.
Right.
And then everything else would be,
18.
should we say like 24? Oh,
24,
What the-
do 24, yeah.
Okay.
It's just,
would that be acceptable to?
Okay.
We're still in the open
We're still in the public hearing.
hearing.
Yeah, 24 inches and all. So just to be clear, for the balcony, can we keep the 4 feet or is right? Okay, so for the
Yeah.
front entrance, we can do the 2 feet, which is
Yeah.
we propose right now. And for all other eaves, it's gonna be 18 inches,
24,
24,
24 again to align with the port.
yeah.
yeah.
I think it'll
It'll
look
look better.
better. It'll just look better, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
So the
Okay,
only
so the app,
is at the balcony.
Gotcha.
okay. I'll close the public hearing. Any other comments from the commissioners? And if not, then maybe Vice Chair Shores, would you like to attempt a motion?
Sure. I'll motion that we approve this item as per the findings of the staff report with the condition of altering the depth of the eaves to be 24 inches, except for those aligned with the balcony on the, what elevation is that? The east elevation.
I have a motion by Vice Chair Shores. Do I have a second?
Oh, I'll second that motion.
Thank you. I have a second by Commissioner Say. Any discussion on the motion? May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Lowenthal,
Aye.
Commissioner Pfaff,
I,
Commissioner Say,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shores,
Aye.
Chair Haran.
Aye, the motion passes 6-0-0-0. An action by the Planning Commission is appealable to the City Council within 10 days of the Planning Commission's action. If the Planning Commission's action has not been appealed or called up for review by the City Council by 5 p.m. on the 10th day, the action becomes final. In order to be effective, appeals must be in writing and must be accompanied by an appeal fee of $924, which includes noticing costs. Congratulations.
Through the chair, if I can just make a correction, Commissioner Schmidt was recused from that item.
Sorry
so,
about that. Yes, so
roll call vote was 5010.
that's correct. Thank you for correcting me. We're at agenda item 7B, 2649 Martinez Drive. If you are the applicant and are attending the meeting via Zoom, please raise your hand so that we may be prepared for you to speak at the appropriate time. If possible, we ask that you also turn on your video at that time. Were any commissioners not able to visit the project site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communications regarding this project? Let the record note that all commissioners present have visited the project site. Can we hear the staff report, please?
This application is for major design review, special permit for declining height envelope, and hillside area construction permit for a first and second story addition to an existing single unit dwelling zoned R1. The subject property is an interior lot and currently contains 2-story single unit dwelling and an attached 2-car garage. The proposed project includes remodeling the front porch, exterior facade improvements, and a first and second floor addition at the rear of the house. The subject property is located within the hillside overlay zone. View preservation shall be limited to obstruction of distant views to San Francisco Bay, the San Francisco Airport, and Mills Canyon from primary indoor living areas such as living rooms and family rooms. The property line of the subject property are set at an angle, and therefore the side setback increases from the front of the house to the rear of the house. The left side of the existing second floor has a non-conforming encroachment into the declining height envelope by 63 square feet. The proposed second floor addition and increase in height of a portion of the existing wall under the new gable roof along the left side of the house would also encroach into the declining height envelope by 28 square feet. A special permit is required for the declining height envelope encroachment of 28 square feet. The existing dwelling contains 6 bedrooms, and no additional bedrooms are proposed with this application. 3 parking spaces, 2 of which must be covered, are required. The existing garage provides 2 covered parking spaces, and 1 uncovered space is provided in the driveway. The proposed project complies with off-street parking requirements. A detached accessory dwelling unit and deck at the rear of the house of the lot were previously approved under a separate permit. Staff recommends approval of the project for major design review, special permit, and hillside area construction permit as conditioned. This concludes the staff report for 2649 Martinez Drive. I'm available to answer any questions you may have for staff.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for staff? I'm going to open the public hearing. Would the applicant please come forward, state your name, and anything else you would like to add about your project?
Is the applicant joining via Zoom? Give us a minute. We're checking on that.
Yeah, it looks like.
Hi, good evening, Chair and Commissioners. We were here a little over a month ago, and when we presented our project, we were asked a few questions. So we've made those updates to our plans. So one of the questions was regarding updating the window elevation and address the front corner window detail on the left side of the house. So we have removed the casement window at the corner of the building, and we have additionally provided head and sill details for the windows. We were also asked to show outdoor lighting on the elevations, which we now have added on our elevations. We were asked we could potentially widen the front door by eliminating the side light. After talking to the homeowners, we lowered the height of the door from 10 feet to 8 feet. But we still would like to keep the side light because we feel that it really enhances the entry area. We're thinking of adding maybe obscured glass to allow natural light while still maintaining the privacy. So we're hoping to retain this element in your design, and hopefully when you see the new elevation, the front door looks more proportionate. The last comment was to resolve some comments from one of the neighbors at 2516 Valdivia Way. I believe the owners met actually the neighbors on May 31st, They discussed about that they will be, the clients will be planting a row of 15-gallon privacy trees. At that time, the issue seemed to be resolved. We do plan on adding the lights at the rear elevation. We are planning on having lights at the rear deck, but they will all be LED and downward facing. So just, so there were like 3-4 comments. So hopefully we have addressed those comments for you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, do we have any members of the public attending in person who wish to speak on this item? Please note that speakers are limited to 3 minutes each.
There are none.
Thank you. I'm going to close the public hearing. Commissioners, comments?
Hello. I appreciate the applicant addressing our comments. I think one of the people who commented about the front entry, and I think that it's a nice improvement to what was previously proposed. I also appreciate the applicant working with the neighbor on Valdivia, and I believe have addressed all of the issues that were brought up by that applicant. I mean, not that applicant, but by that neighbor. I think that and I also like the corner window detail being updated to be a full fixed glass corner window versus the combination casement fixed window that was previously proposed. I think the residents will enjoy that view out of that corner window. That's a nice detail there. I am, unless there are other comments from our,
Just a comment that I think this is a really, really well done house. And really appreciate also the attention to detail and that they understood our comments and that they've addressed the neighbors concerned. It seems in particular the lights and things, so, and the plantings. So I think it's good all around.
Thank you, commissioners. So I think Commissioner Say you were about to make a motion.
Yes, I was gonna make a motion that we approve this project per the conditions of the staff report and resolution.
I will second that.
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Say and a second by Commissioner Pfaff. Any discussion on the motion? May we please have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Lowenthal,
Aye.
Commissioner Pfaff,
Aye.
Commissioner Schmid,
Aye.
Commissioner Say,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shores,
Aye.
Chair Haran.
Aye. So this time the motion passes 6-0-0-0. An action by the Planning Commission is appealable to the City Council within 10 days of the Planning Commission's action. If the Planning Commission's action has not been appealed or called up for review by the City Council by 5 p.m. on the 10th day, the action becomes final. In order to be effective, appeals must be in writing and must be accompanied by an appeal fee of $924, which includes noticing costs. Congratulations. Agenda item 7C, 1548 Hoover Avenue. Let the record note that Commissioners Schmid and Lowenthal are recusing on this item. If you are the applicant and are attending the meeting via Zoom, please raise your hand so that we may be prepared for you to speak at the appropriate time. If possible, we ask that you also turn on your video at that time. Were any commissioners not able to visit the project site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communications regarding this project? Let the record note that all commissioners present have visited the project site. Can we hear the staff report, please?
This application is for major design review and special permit for second-story balcony for a new 2-story single-unit dwelling and detached garage zoned R1. The subject property is a corner lot with an existing 1-story single-unit dwelling and attached garage. The applicant is proposing to demolish the existing dwelling and attached garage and build a new 2-story single-unit dwelling and detached 1-car garage. A portion of the dwelling, approximately 474 square feet, will contain a new attached junior accessory dwelling unit. The applicant is requesting a special permit for the proposed 75 square foot second floor uncovered balcony on the exterior side of the dwelling facing Hoover Avenue. The dwelling would contain 4 bedrooms, 2 parking spaces, one of which must be covered, are required for a 4-bedroom dwelling. 1 covered parking space is provided in the detached garage, and 1 uncovered parking space is provided in the driveway. Therefore, the project complies with off-street parking requirements. The project includes a 474 square foot attached junior accessory dwelling unit on the first floor of the dwelling. Per state law, review of the JADU is administrative only and is not reviewed by the Planning Commission. Staff has determined that JADU complies with the JADU regulations. Staff recommends approval for the project for major design review and special permit as conditioned. This concludes the staff report for 1548 Hoover Avenue. I'm available to answer any questions you may have for staff.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for staff? Hearing none, I'm going to open the public hearing. Would the applicant please come forward, state your name and anything else you would like to add about your project?
I believe they're joining via Zoom, so just give us a second.
Okay.
Hello, good evening, Commission and Chairs. First of all, I want to thank you so much for reviewing taking time and review our project tonight. And also I want to thank to the Brittany and Christine that during the design process that we changed it, they help us support and through all of the design and support us. And then we can respond to your comments or respond to the feedback that we already have for the previous meeting that we have with you, from our last meeting. That as you see that we redesigned the roof for the second floor, and we changed the slope of the roof for the second floor that match with the first floor, and we add some windows detail for trimming, and we changed the stone in the second floor and only having the entry, and hopefully that we respond to all of your comments or your concern. And I'm here and happy to answer any question that you have for tonight. And we really hope that we get the approval tonight. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the applicant? Okay, hearing none. Do we have any members of the public attending in person who wish to speak on this item? Please note that speakers are limited to 3 minutes each.
We have a speaker coming up.
Thank you.
I turned in my form to you. Hi, my name is Lynn Israelit. I live in an adjacent neighborhood and walk past this home all the time. I think that your suggestions, which I listened to at the last presentation, really helpful, and I think this design is much improved over the initially presented project. My only concern is that it's not very easy to detect this on some of the renderings or even on some of the aerial views of the proposed landscaping and the house layout. But there are 2 large HVAC units that are located less than 8 feet from the sidewalk, which is where the original front door of this home was. It's extremely close to the street, and I'm unaware of any homes in Burlingame that have large HVAC units right in front of the house, right next to public space. I would suggest that those 2 units, which can be seen on page 6, I think, in well, I'm looking at the previous plans, but I'm sure it's probably equivalent in the architectural plans. I would ask that those be relocated to either the side of the house, between the garage and the side of the house, or where the other HVAC unit is located, which is between this house and its neighbor, again, sort of tucked away from the street, so that it's not a loud sound that everyone else can hear. I do think one of the photos or renditions show a fence, which is makes it a little more difficult to see, but should that fence ever be removed for whatever reason, future owners or whatever, it would be really pretty ugly. Thank you. That's the page I was referring to where you can see the two HVAC units right adjacent, really close to the sidewalk. So that is my only request. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing. Commissioners, comments?
Well, I'll go. I think it's day and night. It's why we still have design review and reviewer. And I think it's very much improved the whole project. It's interesting about those HVAC things because actually looking into this right now, and our understanding was that they cannot be located on the front of the house. And of course, on the corner, I don't know what's considered the front of the house, but I didn't think that was allowed to be that way. So if it's possible to find, to put it where the other one is, find another place, I think that's a great suggestion. And I don't know how we do that. But anyway, that's my comments. I think they've done a great job, and I really appreciate the applicant, the architect being open to the changes. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Pfaff. Could I ask the staff for a clarification on what the rules are regarding location of condenser units?
Sure, and through the chair. So air conditioning units aren't under the purview of the Planning Commission. We do have regulations in the municipal code that address the location and screening requirements for AC units. So they are required to be located within the rear 75% of the lot. So on corner lots, you know, the Columbus side is considered to be the front of the lot. So in this case, the proposed locations may comply with the regulations. Staff will obviously double check that through the building permit process. I would say also that they are required to be screened by either a fence or landscaping. And there are also noise restrictions as well. They can't exceed a certain decibel. So staff will be checking for all those regulations. Certainly the applicant can take these comments into consideration and relocate air conditioning units, but staff will ensure that they do comply with regulations.
Thank you.
Great.
And just to be clear for everyone, when something's not in the purview of the Planning Commission, that means we have no control over it. We can't really discuss or ask the applicant to change anything regarding it.
And that's correct, or you can't add any conditions of approval requiring them to be in a certain location.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the commissioners?
I think the project is definitely much improved. I think just a few changes to roof shapes and a lot more definition on the windows has helped a lot. I'm definitely happy with the house and the changes. I don't really see any reason to hold this up unless anyone has anything else.
Can I have a motion?
Yeah, I move that this is action, correct? Okay.
Yes.
We bring these back on consent still, right?
No, so
With the-
this evening you would be making a
Approving it.
motion for action for approval.
Right, okay. I'll make a motion to approve this item as per the findings of the staff report.
I'll second the motion.
So we have a motion by Commissioner or Vice Chair Shores and a second by Commissioner Say to approve the project per the conditions of the resolution, correct?
That's correct.
Any comments on the motion? May we please have a roll call vote?
So for this project, we have two recusals, Commissioner Lowenthal and Schmid. Commissioner Pfaff,
Aye.
Commissioner Say,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shores,
Aye.
Chair Haran.
Aye, the motion passes 4-0-2-0. An action by the Planning Commission is appealable to the City Council within 10 days of the Planning Commission's action. If the Planning Commission's action has not been appealed or called up for review by the City Council, by 5 p.m. on the 10th day, the action becomes final. In order to be effective, appeals must be in writing and must be accompanied by an appeal fee of $924, which includes noticing costs. Congratulations. Moving on to agenda item 8, study session. Agenda item 8A, 728 Newhall Road. Were any commissioners not able to visit the project site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communications regarding this project? Here's, we're still waiting for Commissioner Schmid to return and Commissioner Lowenthal. Thank you. So now that we have all commissioners present, were any commissioners not able to visit the project site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communications regarding this project? Let the record note that all commissioners present have visited the project site. Can we hear the staff report, please?
Yes, this is an application for design review and a special permit for plate height for a new 2-story single unit dwelling with a detached garage at 728 Newhall, zoned R1. The subject property is an interior lot, and the proposed floor area will be 4,013 square feet, or 4,017 square feet is the maximum allowed. A special permit is being requested for a first floor plate height of 10 feet, or 9 feet is the maximum allowed for a first floor. There are 5 bedrooms proposed and 3 parking spaces provided, 2 of which must be covered, and the parking requirement is met. Or, I'm sorry, all the parking is met on site. The project does include a new detached or new attached ADU. However, as noted earlier, ADUs are administrative only, and planning staffs concluded that the ADU proposed does meet current code requirements. The applicant is requesting a major design review for a new 2-story single unit dwelling with a detached garage and a special permit for the first floor plate height. Staff has provided analysis for you in the staff report, and we'd be happy to answer any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for staff? Hearing none, I am going to open the public hearing. Would the applicant please come forward, state your name and anything else you would like to add about your project?
Good evening. My name is Behruz Nemati. I'm representing the project. For you guys, any concern, anything I can answer, I'm here to answer.
Do you have a presentation, or should we move to questions? We can move to questions. Any questions for the applicant?
I think I know the answer, but what the request for the special plate height?
The second floor, I added just 6 inches more for the top plate for the second floor only. Instead of 7.5 feet height for the second floor, I put it 8 feet high.
No, I'm talking about aren't you asking for the ground floor for the change?
For the second floor, yeah.
It's not what.
For the ground floor?
For the ground floor, you're asking for 10 where 9 is usually? allowed?
Yes, for 10, 6 feet, we added 6 inches higher than usual. It should be 9 feet, am I right?
That's right, yes.
We put it 10 feet.
Right, and so the reason is that you're asking for it?
Because of the height of the building, the quality of the architecture, and the character of the building.
Okay. I think that was my question.
Thanks, Commissioner Fa. Any other questions for the applicant?
I have some questions.
Yes, please, Commissioner Say.
Please.
Some clarification things. First of all, I think on the cover sheet, I was thrown for a loop for a second. It says existing front facade. I believe you meant to say proposed front facade on your cover sheet, where you have the
I can't hear very well, sorry.
Sorry, is this better?
Yeah, it's better.
On your cover sheet, you have an existing front facade showing. And I believe you intended to say the proposed front facade.
Yes.
Just wanted to clarify that, that when you come back the next time around, if you can just correct that. It threw me for a loop at first as I thought that was the home, but actually it's your proposed home that on your cover sheet.
Yes.
So if you can correct that, your next go around.
Sure.
Yeah, I also don't understand why the request for the 10-foot plate height, but I guess you've answered the question.
But the reason is the family room is open plan actually in the first floor. So there is no wall in the first floor. So we're trying to make the plan like a contemporary architecture for that. So I thought when we designing the open floor, the family room with the kitchen, and in the front the living room with the dining room, I thought if we could go with a 9-foot floor, 9 feet high, it's going to be a little bit squeezy. So I just wanted to make it a little bit higher for the first floor.
The ceiling higher? Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Looking at kind of the proximity of the left neighbor.
Yes.
The stairwell glazing seems to be pretty extensive. I think it looks like 3 stories tall of glazing facing the left-hand neighbor. And you also have, I believe, some windows facing the front at the very upper portion of that stairwell. We tend to try to minimize that, the extent of glazing, especially facing a neighbor from a stairwell where, I mean, I think in your rendering, you're showing some full height drapery, but certainly the homeowner could decide not to close the drapes, or they could be shears. So at night, that you can imagine that's a lot of light pollution on the neighbors. So just wanted to comment on that, whether you would consider reducing the amount of glazing.
Because of the 10-foot distance from the neighbor in the left side, because of the driveway. So we are getting distance from the left side of the building. So that's why we are not very close to the neighbor in that part. So that's why I put the late. And then the staircase, I thought it's better to get more light from outside. But if you think that I need to minimize it, I can do it. Not a big deal.
Great, that's the question.
Sure.
We generally try to minimize the extent of glazing, especially facing a neighbor. So at the front elevation, let's see, where's the front elevation? Again, trying to understand the request for the plate heights. The front, is it the living room that's at the very front of the house on the right-hand side of the house? I think you have proposed here a 10-foot plate height. Yet the windows look like they're quite short in relationship to the height that you're proposing. Curious why the header heights of the windows are not aligning with the height of the front door, for example. If you're trying to create that kind of sense of scale and height in that room.
All about the proportion that I use for the 8 feet height for the door, especially the main door. I try to make it higher than usual because of the inviting part of the building as an entrance. So as a contemporary architecture part, that's why I make the height of the door a little bit higher than usual.
What is the height of the front door? 9 feet?
9 feet, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. From the rendering, it looks like, is there a partial fin extending off of the windows at again, the front elevation? I think it's the bedroom upstairs. Looks like the top and the right-hand side have a fin extension proud of the face of the house. Is that a design detail that you're proposing?
So
Fawzi, can you go back to the rendering?
the windows on the first floor is different from the second floor, obviously. And the entry porch, the door and the window close to it is a different size because of the height of the entrance that I want. So that's why I play with the different height in the different location. And the second floor, because it's shorter, I use shorter header for the windows.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. I was just clarifying if that's if you look at your rendering, I think it's up on the screen right now, is the top of that upper floor front bedroom window and the right-hand side looks like it has some type of a decorative fin extension out proud of that window. Is that correct?
Decorative what? Sorry.
If you look at your elevation here on this page, or your rendering, do you see the wood-clad bedroom window upstairs? The top of the window and the right-hand side of that window seems to have a fin extension proud of the face of the house. Is that a design detail?
That's a design detail.
It is a design, that's my question.
Yes.
Okay. On the back of the house, sorry, on the rear elevation, I think there's some discrepancy between what you're showing in this rendering and what you're showing in your rear elevation. In the rear elevation, it looks like the eave of the, I don't know if it's the ADU or I think it might be the rear of
A
the.
little bit about the masses that you see is
Mhm.
in terms of the level. As much as you're going back, the ADU dropping 1.5 feet, and then the garage is dropping another 1.5 feet to 2 feet. So I try to play with the slope of the property to make, that's why maybe you can see the discrepancies between the level of the windows and the top of the header.
Oh, yeah, no discrepancy there. My question is just clarifying the buildability of what you're showing. Because in the rear elevation, that eave is dying into the face of the glass. I think it's the bifold doors at the back of the family room. Your renderings seem to show that it's cleared those patio doors, but your elevation does not reflect that. So just wanted to know how
I don't know.
there's a height.
Hold on, sorry. So can you show me?
Do you see on the screen, see your rear elevation?
Can I go there?
No, right there.
No.
So what is the back room at the back of the, I think it's the back of the ADU. So you see how the eave off of the back of the ADU on the right-hand side?
ADU, the left side.
No, the right-hand side of the eave of the back of the ADU.
Yes.
If you follow that eave as it penetrates or hits that patio door at the back of the family room,
There is a recessed wall inside.
I see the recess wall, but there is a discrepancy. You can take a look at it and just correct it the next time around, but what you're showing here and what you're showing in your rendering are not matching.
I will check again.
Yeah, if you could just check. We just want to make sure it's buildable, whatever you're proposing. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay. I'm going to request members of the public attending in person who wish to speak on this item. Please note that speakers are limited to 3 minutes each.
Before you start the clock, we have 2 people that are in the hospital. One has a blood clot in her stomach. She's at Mills Peninsula. Her name's Christine Kentworthy, and I'm reading on her behalf. She will submit a doctor's notice as she's in the radiology department right now for a 7:30 scan because she has a blood clot in her stomach. So I will read my part and then I will read her part, if that's okay.
We'll do separate timers for each.
Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, it just went black. Okay. My name is Jen Hogeveen. My family has moved to our home, 724 Newhall Road, just over 9 years ago. Approximately 8 years ago, my son Luke's 5th birthday, we installed a professional grade in-ground basketball hoop about 6 feet tall and 6 feet deep with concrete along with the north fence line. The location was selected carefully based on usability, safety, and a fixed location of the existing fence, which had remained unchanged for over half a century. The neighboring property at 728 Newhall had been owned by the same family for approximately 50+ years. During that time, we shared a harmonious and respectful relationship, and they had approved us placing the basketball hoop where we did. In fact, The homeowner at 728 Newhall Road even installed a gate in the fence to allow our children to retrieve basketballs when they occasionally went over the fence. An informal but important gesture of goodwill. At no time was the boundary or fence line ever disputed, altered, or questioned. The new neighbors at 728 Newhall Road recently conducted a property survey, determined that the current fence line encroaches by approximately 2 feet in the acquired parcel of land. As a result, they are planning to move the existing fence to move the basketball hoop. The current neighbors, 728 Newhall, delayed, canceled, scheduled several meetings and texted me, there's no need to meet. In fact, he said many times he's at the hospital. I called all 6 hospitals, no record of him being there. I am informing you that relocating our community treasured basketball hoop is not feasible due to the concrete foundation, 2 by 2 square feet, 6 feet deep, and which required 60 bags of concrete, and there's no alternate location on our property that this could be safely installed. Our request, given long-term harmonious, uninterrupted use of this land, is that it required substantial investments to be made, which were made in good health, respectfully requesting our neighbors. And we would like you to preserve the existing fence line, especially because it protects the trees. We've maintained a harmonious relationship with our neighbors for 9 years, and we'd like to keep that going. There is something that is in our favor called a prescriptive easement, and we have had this in place for 8 years while the basketball hoop was installed. We ask that the commission recognize our rights for this prescriptive easement doctrine, as we've also consulted legal advisors on how to move forward, which we will take that route if necessary. At a minimum, grant a limited easement for the basketball hoop. As a last resort, we request prescriptive easement concerning the 2 by 2 square foot area of concrete in the ground so that it can remain in place. And my husband actually coaches not only a club team, but he coaches for free neighbors to play basketball every Sunday, especially on those Sundays that it's not raining. We would.
You can finish up your statement as long as it's not too long.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I'm a bit nervous, everything that's gone on today. The picture did not show the fence. So I ask when you look at any other pictures that it shows the fence line. The fence that we replaced was along the fence line. It's on the property. And the fence that goes right along the trees, we ask that it remain unmoved, undeterred. Our fence line then connects to the old garage. That allows us to have that 1.5 feet of extra space, which only the post of our basketball hoop is on. We've never wanted a hostile or adverse relationship, but because the owner right now said, all I want to do with my project is make sure that we don't cause any undue stress, any undue concern, and all he has done is that by canceling, delaying meetings. Then also the last thing is both our 5-year and the statutory period is 5 years. We've used the basketball hoop for more than 5 years. It's been in place for 8 years. The previous owner, Dave Adams, has been incredible, and we have many other neighbors that have also been very incredible in helping their kids participate in this event.
Ma'am, we'll have to have you go on to the next comment. Thank you.
Okay. Can I speak for Christine Kentworthy?
You can read the comment from the
Okay.
woman that's in there.
I have to get hers. Hold on. Christine Kentworthy is a member at 701 Newhall Road. She is a master of trumpet flowers and has a huge array of them in her backyard. She helped advise us in installing a trumpet flower bush that rests against, it's a trumpet flower tree bush that rests against the neighbor's garage. It has become a hummingbird sanctuary, and it's absolutely stunning. When I spoke to the neighbor about it, he said, no problem. We want to make sure that this stays in place and that we can absolutely save this. When I went to meet him after I visited the plans along with my neighbor, There is nothing that says that he's going to go along with what he told us with regard to the basketball hoop or the plant against the neighbor's existing garage that has now become a hummingbird sanctuary that is literally going to be torn down. I also want to say that this structure looks like a bunch of boxes in the neighborhood. It doesn't fit any house on the block on the Hillsborough side. On the Burlingame side, it really looks like a cruise ship monstrosity with a bunch of windows. And I'm so glad that, Audrey, you brought up the issue of the lights, the stairs, the doors. I mean, they're just trying to railroad us, every neighborhood, trying to get increased ceiling height, increased door space, just taking away things that we've had all along, and it's not fair to us or the neighbors that have utilized this area. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Any other members of the public? Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing. Commissioners, comments?
We have a few more speakers.
I'm sorry. The public hearing is still open.
Okay, this was composed with two other women. This was composed with two other women, and one's very sick and one's in the hospital. So I really sat here and I really short as much as I could. Okay. I just want to say I'm here tonight only because I really love trees. The other day, a friend told me that 3 of her heritage trees could be removed due to her neighbor wanting to build an ADU. She told me one tree had to be removed and she did not know about her other 2. Being that I thought our heritage trees were still being protected, I did not know what was going on. So I decided to come here tonight. Today, I called City Hall and spoke to Mr. Holtz. Very nice man. I explained to him that I needed information about what was going on. He told me that it is the state of California that has made the decision that all our beautiful trees will no longer be protected if a neighbor wants to build an ADU where the trees are. Burlingame now has no permission to deal with the issue of protecting our trees and approving the destruction. Everyone knows how important our trees are for the environment and loved by so many in the world. We benefit greatly by them, science also. There is no doubt people are now going to be very unhappy all over our state. And most people in Burlingame still think that Burlingame is responsible for all these decisions, and they don't know, and that's not true. As we are losing control of protecting and enjoying our tree, the only pressure we can put on the state about protecting them and property is to write to those that can make a difference, write to our senators and congressmen. It's probably going to take generations for anything to ever change. I just cannot believe that this state hasn't said, okay, you can have an ADU, that's fine. But let's see if we could find a place on your property where we don't have to tear our trees down. It's terrible what they're doing to the landowners and people that love trees. Okay, I just had to express my feelings.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, I'm Eric Hogeveen. I'm a resident at 724 Newhall Road. I'm here to express a concern about the changing fence line and the basketball hoop that would be imposed on this new structure, along with the concerns that were raised with the 10-foot second floor height, as that will impose shadow and light restrictions on our property. like to explain a little bit more about the importance of the fence. The south fence is the one I'm referring to, has been in place, as well as has a corresponding basketball hoop, which is near and dear to my son, and as well as many other children in our community. And this has been in place for many years without prior dispute, which could support a prescriptive easement or an informal agreement between the neighbors. We're not asking to claim ownership of the property, simply to continue the existing usage. And we're open to a formal easement, which would maintain the property rights and allowing continued use of the existing fixture. This basketball hoop was installed in good faith and in a fixed location that has existed peacefully for years. And the importance of this is I coach a group of local children, and this hoop is the only viable place where they are able to play. The location is made use by a number of children on a weekly basis, and removing the hoop would eliminate a safe, structured place for the children to play. And the concrete base has a 6-foot deep structure, and removing it would destroy the system and make it unable to be replaced, or effectively removing access to basketball for these children. So we are requesting either to preserve the existing fence line or a recorded easement limited to the location of the basketball hoop. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
I just finished.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You've used up your time. I'm sorry. We have another speaker coming up.
Freeze so he can have one more minute.
I'm sorry, we have another speaker.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Matty Zadus. I'm one of the owner of the property in 728 New Hall Road. We purchased this property last year, and we did not know anything about the fence or anything like that. However, we did this survey on this property, and exact rectangle of this property has been done in the survey. I don't think that we are here for that reason at this point, and we will be, if there is anything to be done later on about this, we can take it outside of this meeting. As far as the fence and everything else goes, again, I just want to mention, we purchased it last year. We didn't know anything about this till like last month when we went over there, and it was pointed out to us that here is the fence in our property. However, again, we did the survey. We just have full rectangle of this property, and that's all I wanted to say in here about this. The reason for this meeting is to approve our planning and the design of this project. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any other members of the public wishing to speak?
Yes, we have another member of the public.
Good evening. I'm Mansour Musavian. I am a broker with Compass, and I was the selling agent for this property in the fall of last year. And in all of the disclosures and the title report and the plot map, there was no mention of this basketball court. And this was just pointed out to us about a few weeks ago. And we're not here to discuss that again, but if there is an issue, we can again take it up in the previous owner to find out what was going on, and if there was some disclosure things that were not done to us. But our intention is, of course, to live in peace with the neighbors and be as considerate as possible. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
There are no other public comment speakers.
Thank you. I'm going to close the public hearing. Commissioners, comments?
I'll go. Actually, for a modern and contemporary home, I think it's been done nicely. I don't have an issue with the heights because the overall structure is still only 22 feet above top of curb. So it's not like they're trying to push the overall envelope. And it has a very flat roof system. So I think it still works pretty well, and the declining height works. So I don't have an issue with the height request. I can appreciate the comment by Commissioner Say with regards to the stairwell. We've had others, even across the driveway, where the light pollution has gotten across. So it's hard when we have big windows. And so the only time we can have that discussion is now, because as she said, we can't really say that the curtains have to be there. So I think that there's definitely, I think the articulation looks well. It's just the fact that it's a transparent surface as opposed to an opaque. So you might consider doing a spandrel glass that would reduce the amount of light going in and out. That would help that. Otherwise, I think that the project looks pretty good, and it's in the right neighborhood for that kind of a project, and I think it works well. So I'm in support of it.
Thank you, Commissioner Schmid. Other comments?
So I'm going to express the opposing view. I like well done modern, and for me, this has something frenetic about it. I can't quite put my finger on it, but the second story coming forward the way it is, it looks, and if that is really a rendering with 10 feet, it looks very heavy and squished to me. The heights are all over the place. The materials are all over the colors. We don't do color here, but I would really I would like to see this, I'm going to use the word cleaned up. It's just, if this were a traditional design, I think we would have some comments about maybe more articulation, more interest, but more, something more simplified. It's very all over the place. I agree with the speaker, and I don't think there's anything we can do about it regarding the trees. It is just a travesty what's happening in the state. And regarding the basketball and the fence, I don't think that it's upsetting. I know it's very upsetting to longtime homeowners there. I don't think there's anything we can do about that. Sounds like really a legal issue that travels with the property. So we're here just for the design, and I find this needs some work to pull it together. Just it's not quite there for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Pfaff. Other comments?
Chair Haran, I have some comments.
Thank you, Commissioner Say.
Yeah, I'm a fan of modern homes, and I see some things happening here that are working and other elements that aren't, and I think I brought them up with my questions earlier. I appreciate, how cool it can look with that glazed light well, but that won't work here in our city, and the proximity of the neighbors. So I appreciate the applicant saying that he would address the details there. The front of the house, there's just something that's not working for me. I think it's even though there's the taller plate height on the first floor, somehow it still looks really short because the second floor has, this heavy, rich wood treatment. I think it might be because the header heights are so low on the windows at the living room that maybe if there was a little bit more height accentuation on that first floor, it would feel a little bit more grounded. Right now, it seems like the second floor is squashing the first floor, as Commissioner Pfaff stated. Um, there's something, it could be just the header heights of the windows, or maybe the sill heights of those windows coming up a little higher. There's something that needs to accentuate the verticality of that front elevation. The windows on the left side seem to work better for me. The right side seems to be was kind of like the last, almost seems like it was thought about at the end of the planning. There's no, very limited articulation on that side of the house. The windows don't align on top of one another. There isn't that typical language we see in modern homes where there's a relationship of some element to another, or some kind of monolithic effort. And there doesn't seem to be any massing that suggests anything particularly modern on that side of the house. The rear also, I feel, needs some attention. The rear looks like an old home that was built. I mean, if I didn't see any of the other sides of the house, the rear of the house looks like a plain, larger bungalow built in the 1930s to me. It's missing some details. It certainly does not have the enough interest in terms of materials as some of the other elevations do. Probably doesn't help that garage, I think, is kind of as part of the elevation. Maybe next time we don't have to see the garage, but maybe just see the full back of the house. I think some attention to the back would be appreciated. And as I mentioned earlier, that eave dying into the face of that patio door is not buildable. So there's something wrong there with what's being drawn. So I'd appreciate some attention there. The renderings are just not matching the rear elevation. The other comment I wanted to say too, if you want to consider, it seems like you have a good amount of front setback that you can work with and that you're not utilizing. And for such a large home, it seems like there's almost no backyard due to the driveway access to the two-car garage. So you're kind of left with a deck and then a hydro zone at the very back of the ADU, which doesn't look like it's very easily approachable. So it seems that everything's been kind of truncated. The house has been kind of truncated and condensed into this two-story mass, but you actually have some front setback space to work with, a number of feet that maybe could help you improve the massing and style of the home. Sorry, I'm providing lots of information here, but it's just not working for me right now. But I do appreciate the effort of a more modern style home in this particular neighborhood.
Thank you, Commissioner Say. Any other comments?
Yeah, Chair Horan. Yeah, overall, I'm not a huge fan of modern homes, but that's a personal preference, which isn't valid here. So I'm okay with it because it fits within the residential design guidelines. What I was more concerned about was the plate height. But the whole reason we have plate heights is so that you don't look at a massing issue. And I don't think you have that here, although I fully agree with what Commissioner Say just said. And I do think there is a massing issue with the second floor coming down on the first floor. And I think she hit the nail on the head. I think your header spacing is what's causing that, which is a very simple fix. So, you know, I think Commissioner Schmidt said it right. I mean, they're not going for an overly tall home. It's all within the guidelines. It's the plate height on the first floor that is being asked for. So I'm not too big of an issue with that. But again, the second floor massing seems to be negatively impacting the overall look. As a builder, I can tell you that all these different materials, although maybe nice to look at, are going to be a challenge to not only build, but to maintain. But back to what you're saying, and certainly understand it. And I would advise you to seek alternative methods. Unfortunately, that's not something we can even really talk about today. And that's about all I have to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Lowenthal. Any other comments?
Yes, I'll just briefly add, I'm pretty much fine with the design. I definitely agree with my fellow commissioners on it. I'm ambivalent on more modern styles, but I think this is done pretty well. I think that the biggest thing that stands out to me, that's been mentioned already, is the way that the second story interacts with the first story a little bit. I think that's the only substantive thing that I personally can pull out as a comment for this. I would agree with that, my fellow commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner or Vice Chair Shores. So this is a study session item. Would anyone like to try to formulate a motion for the applicant?
Including a summary of the direction.
Exactly.
I will attempt to move. I move that we bring this project back on action with while addressing the comments that were brought up by this commission, including the second story massing over this first floor, window articulation around the house, alignment, the lighting over the stairwell, the extensive glazing over the stairwell to be minimized. The addressing the rear eave element as it connects to the rear of the house. Let's see, what else do we have?
Can I just, if I can just interject, I can't, I'm having trouble seeing the location of the trees, but you did have a comment about the the wasted front setback. I'm wondering if there is an opportunity to push everything up if one of those trees could be saved. I just don't know if it's in the right place. I just don't know, so.
Yeah, that was one of the comments brought up as well, that to potentially utilize the available front setback if the applicant so chooses. Is there anything else?
I think you mentioned the rear elevation of the second story.
The eave as it dives into the back of the house.
But at the second story, I think you mentioned it looked like a 1930s bungalow versus a modern.
Yeah, just some more attention to materials or detailing on that rear elevation to reflect that the design of the other three sides.
Right. Thank you, Commissioner Say. I have a motion by Commissioner Say, and do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Sorry, I would just say that it seems in general that there is support for the 10-foot plate height.
Yes, I think that's true given the overall height of the home and the flat roof slope.
If the other,
yeah, in conjunction with the items that were.
I will second that.
Thank you, Vice Chair Shores. I have a motion by Commissioner Say and a second by Vice Chair Shores. Any comments on the motion? Staff, do you believe the motion is clear enough for the applicant?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. May we please have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Lowenthal.
Aye.
Commissioner Pfaff.
Aye.
Commissioner Schmid.
Aye.
Commissioner Say.
Aye.
Vice Chair Shores.
Aye.
Chair Haran.
Aye. The vote is 6-0-0-0. This action is not appealable. Agenda item 8B, 229 Bancroft Road. Were any commissioners not able to visit the project site, or do any commissioners wish to note any ex parte communications regarding this project? Let the record note that all commissioners present have visited the project site. Can we hear the staff report, please?
This application is for major design review and special permit for plate height, second floor balcony, and attached garage for a new 2-story single unit dwelling zoned R1. The subject property is an interior lot with an existing one-story single-unit dwelling and detached garage. The applicant is proposing to demolish the existing dwelling and garage and build a new two-story single-unit dwelling and attached garage. A special permit is being requested for the proposed first floor plate height of 9 feet 9 inches, where 9 feet is the maximum plate height allowed for the first floor. A special permit is also being requested for a 24 square foot second story balcony at the rear of the house. And a special permit is also being requested for the attached garage. The dwelling would contain 4 bedrooms, 2 parking spaces, one of which must be covered, are required for a 4-bedroom dwelling. 1 uncovered parking space is provided in the attached garage, and 1 uncovered parking space is provided in the driveway. This concludes the staff report for 229 Bancroft Road. I'm available to answer any questions you have for staff.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for staff? Hearing none, I'm going to open the public hearing. Would the applicant please come forward, state your name and anything else you would like to add about your project?
We're bringing them in as panelists.
Thank you.
Fozzie, you may have to go to the view and do the grid view. And then expand that window. If the applicant can unmute yourselves and also turn on the video.
Your camera's not on.
Okay. If you're the applicant, you can go ahead and speak.
Oh, so hello. So this is actually the owner.
We can hear you.
Should we have our architect talk about the project instead?
Yes, however you would like to do it. You can speak and the architect can speak. It's your time to present the project.
Okay. So we're actually the owner, and this is our proposed 2-story unit that we are planning to build, and there's an attached garage in the front, and also a balcony in the master bedroom.
We believe the designer architect is online, but we're having trouble bringing them in as panelists. If the applicant can unmute yourselves or accept the invitation to become a panelist, that way we'll be able to hear you.
Let me.
Oh, here you go. He's good. Yeah, he's good.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Xiaowen. I'm the applicant. We are going to build the two-story residential in the lot. We don't have other comment.
Thank you. Do we have questions for the applicant?
Through the chair, I do.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask the box the built boxes around the front windows. What is the depth of those? How far do they protrude from the base wall?
Just a trim around a trim.
I don't know that that's trim. Is that trim? In the front face of yeah. So it on the lower the first floor, as well as the windows, the two windows above your second floor. To me, it looks like there's a box.
It's either like a bay window.
I'm sorry.
Bay window.
So it's a modern bay. It's a modern bay. Great.
Yes.
So I just wanted to ask what is the depth of the bay?
2 feet.
2 feet. It's coming out 2 feet. So what is your overhang on your roof?
18 inch.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think those were my main questions. Thank you. Oh, wait, there was one more. Your front doors, what is the height of your front door?
Front door should be 8 feet.
Okay, and okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Couple questions. Can you clarify what the material on the roof is?
It's a shingle.
Like a composite shingle, or
yes,
like
composite shingle.
Okay. And then would you and the applicant be open to a different type of garage door, or are you married to
We
the
can
steel?
use other kind of garage door, like a wood with windows.
But you are going to do a wood with window garage door?
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Okay, because the current one's a steel one, but you're saying you can modify. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Could I ask a question about the decision to propose an attached garage versus a detached garage?
Right. We have a new building, so we want to incorporate the garage in the residential. Attached garage will be easier for transfer stuff to the house.
Yeah, and we can also add to that, because we have a baby, so it's just easier for us to like bring her straight into the house instead of like carrying her into the house.
Yeah, especially in the raining season.
Thank you.
Through the chair, I have, if everyone's done, I forgot one question. I noticed on your landscape plan, there's not really anything, and I know that the planning department, Ellen, she and Mr. Holtz, they recommended the ginkgo trees in the back. That's great. But in the front yard, it looks pretty barren. So are you then reusing what's there? There are a couple bushes there now. Do you have a plan that I don't see? Were you planning on not having really anything in the front yard?
We will keep existing lawn. And
just existing lawn? Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Sure.
No more questions from the commission. Do we have any members of the public attending in person who wish to speak on this item? Please note that speakers are limited to 3 minutes each.
Thanks.
Yes.
My name's Charlie Drexler. I grew up in the home next door at 225, and I looked at the plans real quick online today, observed that 225 is left off the plan set. It's referred to as 227, which is currently the back unit of the duplex, the non-conforming duplex that has been there since I was a kid. So that needs to be corrected in the plan set that's available for viewing online. The subject property at 229 sits between 225 and 271 Bancroft Road, and we think it's a nice proposed development. I don't have any objection to the attached garage. I think it's a nice thing for a young family, or any family for that matter. The only other concern we had was the front right-of-way view of the balcony, the second floor balcony in the backyard. You can see a projection in the upper rendering that's on the screen currently. The plans suggested just an iteration of maybe a wooden balcony framed railing. What we saw tonight, which was really nice, is maybe a metal top rail with sheer glass panels, some tempered glass panels, which would still be really nice. And I'd just like to qualify that none of that would be visible from street view, sidewalk right of way. And if it is simply a sliding glass door balcony, that's not going to be a second floor privacy issue for my lot or any other neighbor that might have been discussing it this week on the block. So it looks really nice in that image. And if the applicant is proposing that, the projection beyond the second floor side wall is what we're interested in qualifying, so that if you're on the sidewalk, which is heavily used by dog walkers and the folks in the neighborhood, just for the applicant's privacy, they should be able to hang out on their second story balcony and enjoy some privacy as well. Other than that, we welcome them to the neighborhood and support this going forward. Thank you.
Thank you for comments. Any other members of the public?
There are none.
Thank you. I'm going to close the public hearing. Commissioners, comments?
I'll just start. Just for clarification on the garage, I did, for the speaker, we try to have some consistency if there's a pattern in a neighborhood or a street that, you know, they're all in the back. And I live in the neighborhood, not too close, or I wouldn't be able to say anything, but this particular block seemed to be all over the place. Some were attached, some in the back. It's just kind of all over. So I guess because it's not absolutely huge, I don't love front garages, but it's not absolutely very huge and very, very wide. I'm okay with it too in this case. I'm not okay. Well, I don't completely understand how the boxes, the bay windows work together with the roof, but I'll leave that to my fellow commissioners who actually build things. I do have an issue with the plainness and the, it is a substantial home. I think the front yard needs something, and I know you have, sorry, I'm pointing the wrong way, taking care of the requirements of what is asked for you by the city for plantings, but I think you definitely need a tree or something out in the front that helps mitigate the size of the building, because it will be a large building, and just soften everything. There's a lot of stucco. I think it would be very helpful. Those are my main comments. Otherwise, I think it's, you know, an improvement over what's there now. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Fox. Other comments?
I have a comment.
Yes, Commissioner Say.
Let's see. I'm kind of not sure what I think about this house. I think it looks so sweet and it's trying to be all symmetrical, but I'm not liking the garage at the very front of the house. Almost like a feature item. I support the attached garage. That's not an issue. We see that pattern in this neighborhood. One design element that's I think can be fixed fairly easily is that window in the bathroom above the front portico. Since this is the design is trying to be so symmetrical, and that window being off-centered from the front portico makes me want to center the window. So
Oh, yeah.
widening the window a little bit or something in that bathroom to, I think it's just over a vanity maybe or something. But I think that would improve something needs to shift because there's too much emphasis on symmetry with this front elevation, and that looks like it was a mistake if that gets built that way, off-centered. This house also, I like the last project, seems to not be taking advantage of the front setback that you have available to you. So you are, I think, utilizing your average maybe, or even greater than the average on the block for the very front face of the entry portico. But then the living room is set back in line with the garage because I think you're trying to create this symmetrical look. But really, I think by pulling the living room forward, you can create more interesting massing for the front of the house and set the garage back so that it meets that 25-foot requirement and give you some more living space. That part's it's just what's bothering me is the kind of four-square kind of look that it's trying to be, but it's a garage door on the left side. That doesn't seem to work for me. There's too much formality at that front entrance with the beautiful double doors and all this attention to almost kind of palatial kind of feel approach to the house, but there's a garage door on the left. So that is a larger comment for me. And because of the roof design trying to be very symmetrical and balanced on all four sides, the back of the house gets forced. That roof is like forcing that balcony onto what's left of the roof at the back. So, and even the little bit of extended roof at the very back of the house there just seems to be like, oh, well, that's what's left, so that's what we're going to have there. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of thought to the design of the back of the house. I don't think I have an issue with the bay windows. They're definitely not 24 inches deep, as the architect stated. They look like they may be at most 10 to 12 inches deep. So, which is fine, that rather than 24 inches deep, I don't think the 24-inch depth will work very well. And you might want to pay attention to where the bottom of that bay window is going to touch the roof. I think that you have a construction issue there, potentially, water drainage issues at the bottom of that bay window. So you might want to raise it up higher. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Commissioner Say. Any other comments?
Yeah, Chair Haran.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw this home come through the rendering, the garage door just stuck out like a sore thumb. I appreciate that the architect and the applicant are willing to make that a nice garage door. I think that's necessary. You have a beautiful, grand front entryway. The symmetry is happening, then you have this gigantic metal garage door. So having something more attractive would definitely help. But I love what Commissioner Say just said about the setbacks and recessing that garage. It does not need to be in line with that front living room wall at all. I don't think it's actually helping at all. It's creating almost like a wedding cake type situation, which I don't think you want to do there. And then as far as subjective opinion, if it was my house, I'd probably do some sort of stone veneer or something else on the bottom just to kind of break up the monotony of the flat stucco. It just gives it more interest. And, but again, that's neither here nor there, just a small suggestion. Otherwise, I'm fine with everything. I can understand why the plate height is what it is in the garage. It's a massive metal white garage door, so as is, it's not acceptable. But I think the next round would look better.
Thank you, Commissioner Lowenthal.
I'll go. Yeah, I actually feel very strongly about the wedding comment. I'm struggling with the scale and the symmetry of it. I understand why, but it's just not looking good to me. I can appreciate the height of the garage plate height that I don't have an issue with, because then that makes it actually not look really off. But I think that I'm not finding a whole lot of interest in the way that it's happening. I think that the roof is just, it's not adding a architectural element. It's just trying to fade away. And I think that maybe instead of, maybe a gable end would make that look, different than just two sets of roofs on top of each other. And I think that there's definitely an opportunity for the materials, because otherwise it's just looking like a stucco box to me. I definitely think that between the rendering and the elevations on the plan, there's some variation in what those pop-outs look like for the bay windows. So I don't actually think popping them out will make it look any better. I think it's going to make it look worse. So I would be conscious of that on how that works. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity before it comes back to us.
Commissioner Schmid?
Sorry.
Vice Chair Shores?
Right. I was just going to briefly mention the only, I guess, the bigger thing I was going to say at the beginning was that the garage door would benefit from being pushed back, but that doesn't really make sense with this house. So I'm glad Commissioner Say mentioned there's lots of room to bring the living room forward if they wanted to. I think that would benefit both halves of the house really well. Other than that, I agree with what my fellow commissioners have said.
Thank you. I don't have a lot to add. I agree with my fellow commissioners as well. I do appreciate the idea of the symmetry, but I don't think it actually looks interesting. It looks in some ways oversimplified. So I do agree with the comments that Commissioner Say provided. For the bump outs on the bay windows, I kind of like the way the second floor looks more than just the floating box of the first floor window. So you might consider bringing that all the way down instead of just having it as a floating box. And yeah, I also agree that the materials might help if you have more interest in different materials. And certainly, yeah, I'm personally not a fan of attached garages. I do understand the benefits, and I do agree that the neighborhoods should have a variety of homes, so I'm okay with it. But when you do an attached garage, it really means you have to pay attention to the quality of the design of the garage door. So those were not necessarily additive, but just agreeing with my fellow commissioners. As this is a study session item, would any commissioner like to attempt a motion?
Well, I can attempt a motion that I guess we would bring this back on action based on the staff report. And I think some attention needs to be done to the garage door, potentially some addition to the materials currently being used, as well as some better detailing on the window bump outs and
landscaping in the front.
thank you. I don't think the existing landscaping is going to work. So I think there needs to be a landscaping plan instead of existing. I'm pretty sure the front driveway is cracked and garbled. So it could benefit from an overhaul. But yes, bring it back to action on that.
Couple more items.
There were a couple more items, the centering of the window. If they
Yeah, definitely that. I didn't even notice.
Thank you. Reminded me that that was very good call. So yes, the window above the portico, if that could be centered or widened to
unless the massing changes where the living room front setback comes.
Can I say something about that middle window? What is that? What is that, a bathroom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The bathroom.
Well, that might be an opportunity. It's a very plain house, might be an opportunity to look into some kind of interesting, there's so many neat things you can do with windows now. I don't know, maybe something that mimics what you have with your front door, some neat ironwork or something. Just don't have to do it, it's just a suggestion, but kind of get a little interest in the plainness of it and the massiveness.
So attention to the window detail, specifically the one above the portico.
The wedding cake wedding cake tiering.
And then kind of the wedding cake motif of I guess the articulation of the second story sitting on the first story, but that could be helped with some of the potentially pulling forward the living room or even greater detail around the window or different materials could offset some of that. But it does kind of look like a box on a box. So the motion would be to look at that element and hopefully try to improve that. Clear as mud?
Clear.
Thank you, Commissioner Lowenthal. Do we have a second?
Second.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Lowenthal, a second by Commissioner Pfaff. Any other discussion on the motion? Do we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Lowenthal,
Aye.
Commissioner Pfaff,
Aye.
Commissioner Schmid,
Aye.
Commissioner Say,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shores,
Aye.
Chair Haran.
Aye. The motion passes 6-0-0-0. This action is not appealable. Agenda item number 9, staff and commission reports. Are there any commissioners' reports? Staff, do you have anything to share?
Just a reminder that the second meeting in July is canceled. So don't come on July 28th. The next meeting for that will be on August 11th. August 11th.
Thank you. The meeting is adjourned at 9:03 p.m.
Good job from remote.
Thank you, Chair Haran.
Thank you. Good evening.
I was going to have to miss that. Oh, I can keep my.
There you go. What? There you go.
And the meeting's over. That's, no, Tom.
Oh, it was lovely. A neighbor? Yeah, it was really nice. Was
John, I was saying all kinds of.
I'll have to the other comments.
yeah.